I obviously am somebody who always wants to optimize how much work I do per unit of time. And so I was, there was definitely times earlier in my life I was really romanticized by these like very extensive morning routines and supplement rituals and like all this stuff of mental masturbation around the work that needed to be done. But when I looked at 2 hours later and nothing had actually gotten done, the moment you begin working is when your output per unit of time goes up. And so that makes beginning the single greatest hack that you can have for everything else that you do in work. Because the thing is, when you start working, you start getting in the mood to work, right? Like everything else is procrastinating around the work that you think you should do. But like I have noticed, for me at least, I have some big mental tasks, you know what I mean? Like big content piece or big thing that you need, like, it's going to take real mental effort. It takes me like 5 minutes of actually being in it to then get a little bit of a lay of the land to then get into it. But I used to take hours to delay to start the first 5 minutes. And so my time compression of when I thought I should start doing something and when I started doing it over time is just compressed. And when I think about the days that I look back on at the end of my day and think like today was a good day, invariably it's the same few things. I worked very hard on something that I felt was worth doing. I worked out and I spent time with people that I enjoy being around. If I do those 3 things, I had a good day. Most people's definition of work is a negative one, which is why they abhor it, which is also why they misunderstand so many people who quote, I'll say quote here, are successful or ahead of them or whatever, is that both people, one person says the word work and the other person hears the word pain. And so the first step to like becoming more successful is understanding the language that the people who are successful are using. They're actually defining the word differently. And so whatever that thing is that you actually enjoy doing, where you lose track of time when you're in it, even if it's challenging, but usually it is challenging, right? Like it's not easy because then it's boring, right? Which is also why the uncertainty thing is so key, right? To not knowing if it's gonna work or not. You are gonna work though, either way. Is that the people who are quote addicted to work make it easy to be addicted to work because they do things worth doing. And I think a lot of it is coming down to making sure that you take the few precious seconds that we have to do the few things that are worth doing for the rest of your life.
We all want to be productive, but we also want to feel good along the way. What are the things within my control that I can do to make my work a little bit more enjoyable? What I found through writing the book and through kind of diving into the evidence around productivity and performance and creativity and all this stuff, if you can find a way to make whatever you're doing feel just a little bit better, experience more positive emotions in it, like make it more fun, make it more enjoyable, it boosts your productivity, it boosts your creativity, it reduces your stress levels, and it massively energizes you as well. If you can find a way to experience positive emotions in your work through play, power, people, progress, purpose, kind of these different things that drive internal motivation, then it just transforms the way you experience work. This has been the single best strategy that I've ever found for curing overwhelm. And basically the idea here is that you create a blank Google Calendar and you call it your ideal week. And you just block out, what does your ideal ordinary week look like? What time are you waking up? What time are you going to sleep? What time are you picking up the kids? What time are you going to work? And you put all those into your ideal week calendar, and then you see what happens. The terrible thing about a to-do list is that it's not constrained by anything. You can just keep adding stuff to a to-do list, but you can't keep on adding stuff to a calendar. If you have a job, that's at least 40 to 60 hours gone. If you have kids, that's at least 30 hours gone. If you want to have date nights, that's another 3 hours. And before you realize it, you look at this ideal week calendar and you realize, oh crap, I only really have one evening a week where I can do something. Which means if you want to take art lessons and singing lessons and do that talk and do that project at work and take part in that committee and join the, parent-teacher advisory board for the school, you just physically don't have the time for it. As long as we are doing the things that matter to us in a way that's intentional and effective and sustainable, like even just knowing that I would like to spend one evening a week with my mom, or I'd like to have a date night a week, helps us move more towards that future that we're trying to build for ourselves.